Good day, everybody. Well, today we continue on in our discussion on the Beatitudes from Matthew chapter 5. And today we're going to be looking at the Beatitude from Matthew 5, verse 6. And it says this: "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." Now, the New Living Translation has it slightly differently, and it says it this way: "God blesses those who hunger and thirst for justice, for they will be satisfied." But whether it's justice or righteousness, they contain much of the same essence. But first, I want to focus on the hunger and thirsting. This hunger and thirsting isn't just because we have a little gnawing of an appetite and we're going, oh, we should eat. It's more about a longing and a craving that you're not satisfied with anything less but this. For an example, a number of years ago, I was working with a group from the Canadian Mennonite University in Winnipeg, a group of young adults who were down in Guatemala, and we were working with a Mayan school up in the highlands, building a dormitory. And while we were there for, I think it was 12 or 13 days, almost 2 weeks. And every day, 3 times a day, we had beans. Sometimes it was whole beans, sometimes it was refried beans, and once a day we would have something else with the beans. Sometimes it might be scrambled eggs, sometimes it might be spaghetti, sometimes it might be mystery meat, who knows what it was. But anyway, every day we had beans. Now hear me right, I love beans. I grew up in a family where my dad loved beans, and whenever Mom would make them, it was an awesome meal, and to this day I still love beans. But let me tell you, after 12 days of having beans 3 times a day, oh my goodness, I was craving for something different. I was craving for something that had real meat in it. I was even craving for McDonald's, if you can believe that. And it was amazing how we would eat the beans because we needed it for our sustenance. But there was a longing, there was a craving for something that was beyond just this. Well, if you've ever had that kind of experience, I think you can appreciate what Jesus is saying. He says that those who have that kind of longing and craving for what is just out of their reach, which is justice and righteousness, right living before God, if you can put it that way, and those who desire that with so much of their heart that they're just not satisfied with anything that falls short of that, he says, those are the ones who will find themselves satisfied. They will find themselves filled. They will find their longing satiated. Well, there are many aspects of what God calls us to be right before Him, and they do have aspects of justice, looking out for the needs of the poor and the widow who are among you. Treating those who are impoverished with honor, being willing to make yourself available to help those who are the overlooked and the underserved. All these sort of things are a part of what it means to hunger and thirst for righteousness. It's like we go into the world and we go, that's not quite right. And over here, that's not quite right. And there's this longing for us to see things made right and brought under the blessing of God. And when our hunger and thirst is there, he says, when we hunger that way, that's when we'll find ourselves being filled. That's when we'll find ourselves being completely satisfied. So as you go through your week, what are the things that come to mind as I've been talking about things that you see that aren't quite right? They're sort of like having beans, for 3 times a day for 2 weeks straight, and knowing that there's something beyond that. What is there in the spiritual realm or in the physical realm in our neighborhoods that we see that isn't quite right, and we want to see it made right? When our heart's passion is to seeing that made right, when our prayers go towards making that seem right, that's when we find God filling us and encouraging us and satisfying us. sometimes it's by using us to be the solution. Sometimes it's by praying out that vision as we see other people gathering together to accomplish his kingdom's purposes. God bless you, church. Have a great day.